Okay, so once we are done with styling both parts of our project, it's time to add some JavaScript and give some functionality to buttons. So by default, I'm going to hide form container, and when we click on button in banner, then banner will be hidden, and form container will be displayed with a little fade effect. Also, when we click X closing button, form will be hidden and banner will be displayed back. Alright, that's all what we are going to do, and again, we will do it using JavaScript. First of all, I'm going to change some styles in CSS. Let's get back here background and delete second one. Then remove display none from banner. And also, in order to hide form container, I'm going to use opacity 0 and visibility hidden. Actually, we're able to use here just display none, but those two properties will allow us to create fade effect because we can use transition with opacity, but we can't do that with display property. Alright, let's go to app.js file. We will use some basic JavaScript. Actually, it's going to be document object model. So as you know, if we want to create event, first of all, we need to select needed element and then add to it event listener. In order to access an HTML document in DOM, we have object called document. And then we need to use selector. In this case, let's use query selector. And inside parentheses, we need to indicate which element we're going to select. Actually, we can insert here class names or ID or even tag name. In this case, let's pass class of banner button. Inside quotes, we need to place dot and class name banner btn. Alright, so we have selected element, and now let's add to it event listener. Actually, this method takes 3 arguments, but 2 of them is mandatory. I mean event type and function, which will be called when that event will be occurred. So as we said, we need click events and we have to pass it inside quotes. After that, we need to insert function. Let's use here arrow function, which is an addition of ES6 version. There are some differences between arrow functions and regular functions, but I'm not going to go deeper and explain those differences because it's not subject of this course. For more information regarding such things, you can check out our JavaScript course. Alright, so inside that function, we need to define what we want to happen when we click banner button. First of all, we need to hide banner. For that, let's select it, write document. Then query selector. And inside parentheses, let's insert class name banner. So in document object model, we have property called style, which should be followed by CSS property. In this case, in order to hide banner, we need to use display none. So we need to write here display, then equal sign, and then inside quotes, we need to place needed value, in this case none. Alright, so if we click button, then banner will be hidden. Next thing that I'm going to do is to display form container. So let's go ahead and select it, write document.query selector. Inside parentheses, let's indicate class name form container. As you know, form container by default has opacity 0 and visibility hidden. So we need to change those 2 properties simultaneously. And in order to do that, we need to use style and property called CSS text, which actually allows us to define several CSS styles simultaneously. So inside quotes, let's insert opacity 1 and visibility visible. Alright, let's click again button. So as you see, form is displaying but without any fade effect. In order to fix that, let's go to CSS file and give some transition to form container. We need here opacity and duration, let's say 1 second. So as you see, now form is displaying with nice effect, and the only thing that we have to do is to change background of container. So let's go ahead and select it, write documents dot query selector. Let's insert here class name container. Then we need style property with background. And as a value, let's insert here color CC683C. Alright, let's click, and you see that everything works perfectly. Actually, that's all about banner button. Next, we need to work on X closing button. So when we click, we need to hide form and display banner again. Okay, let's select this button, write documents dot query selector, then insert here class name XBTN, then add event listener. So in this case, we need again click event. Let's insert it, and then pass arrow function as a second argument. So first of all, we have to display back banner. By default, it has display flex. So on click, we need to give to it this property back with value flex. Let's copy this line, paste, and instead of none, write flex. Next, we need to hide form. Let's copy again from here, and then change 1 into 0, and instead of visible, write hidden. So when we click X button, then form is hidden, banner is displayed, and as you see, the only thing that we have to do is to change background. Let's select container. Actually, let's copy it from here, then add style. So in this case, we need to change two properties, background and background size. So let's use again CSS text. Then go ahead and grab background property with its value from CSS file. Paste it inside quotes. And also add background size cover. Alright, so when we close form, then you see that banner is displaying back. And actually, that's it. Everything works perfectly. We have almost finished our second project. The only thing that I want to do is to make project responsive for different screen sizes, which I think will be interesting and useful for you. So let's move on to the next lecture.